Hello, everybody. How are we on this lovely Wednesday night? I nearly said Thursday then. Who knows what day it is? Welcome to my kitchen. My name is Michelle Moss. I know quite a few of you have been here before, so welcome back. We tonight, Mandy, Dinah and myself, decided that we would like to just show you some of our favourite things coming into this time of year. And of course, I noticed a lot of you on tonight are actually already Team 6 owners, and some of you have recently upgraded. Some of you have been Team 6 owners for a little while. But of course, we do have our Team 31 trade-up offer on, which has been extended to the end of the month to allow everybody to take advantage of it, because there are no parts globally now. So we cannot receive Team 31 machines for servicing. So we don't want anybody to be left short because their Team 31 needs to be serviced. It can't be done, and now they don't have a Thermomix on their bench anymore. So what a lot of my recent customers have done, have gone, because one of the awesome things about this offer is you can keep their Team 31, is get the Team 6, they'll work side by side, but then, when the other one decides to retire, your Team 6 is going to keep going. So you're never going to be without. Imagine something you rely on every day not being there anymore. I know if the dishwasher or the washing machine isn't working, it's like, oh my goodness. So that's why we've extended that. Now, what we've also done is we have an incredible offer where when you do upgrade your Team 31, I'm pointing to it. It's over there. You can't see that. Look, there they are. Hi. You will also get a bonus gift, which includes our famous cutter, our blade cover peeler, and a $300 mix shop voucher for you to add accessories to your kitchen to use with your new TM6. A lot of customers are using that to buy a second bowl with. Now, the second bowl is $3.95. Take off $300, it's $95. Join our new customer loyalty program and get a $15 voucher for signing up. Brings it down to $80. So pretty good deal. Anyway, I think I've just got very excited and rambled on about that. So what I'm going to do is show you the machine. We're going to go over to Diana first because she's got a dish that's got a lot of steaming to do. We'll pop back to me. I'm going to show you my dish, which is only one I made for the first time last week, and everyone raved about it. And I love it because it's such a simple dish, but it was just such a pleasure to serve and see how excited people were to eat it. And then we're going to head over to Mandy, and she's cooking one of her favourite dishes coming into this time of year, sort of salads and all of that sort of stuff. So let me flip my camera around and show you the trusty TM6. Now, my bowl is actually in the dishwasher, but it will be out in a couple of minutes. So, in fact, I say my bowl, both of my bowls are in the dishwasher. So, and the other one is on my other machine over there, cooking. So there's a lot going on in this kitchen today. And in fact, my daughter made cinnamon scrolls today, so I might show you those in a minute as well. There's a few left. A lot of them get eaten. So I'm going to bring you down and just show you the screen, because what I want you to sort of, I guess, understand with the TM6, because a lot of Team 31 customers are concerned that they can't cook manually anymore. But this is our home screen, and this is time, this is temperature, and this is speed. So this is the language that you're used to speaking with your TM31. So you can still cook manually. You can activate reverse in here. Then in this screen here to my right, you can access the 3 modes that you've had previously, which is scales, dough, and turbo. But what you will notice as well is there are 15 more modes on top of those 3 that you're used to that give you a whole realm of cooking excitement and variety and options. So, and then when we go in that other direction, you can access the online recipe platform, which is Cookidoo. So I think I probably sound a bit Cookidoo today. So Cookidoo is like our Netflix or iTunes for recipes. So if you think of it like that. So within that, you can create playlists, you can set menus and meal plans, you can create shopping lists, and you can actually even send that shopping list to Woolies to do an online shop. I will show you that a little bit later, but I just wanted to give you a little bit of an introduction for the Team 31 people in here tonight who haven't really seen it sort of up close and personally. Now, what you get with the TM6 is guided cooking. So that's what you're going to see a lot of tonight. And I actually had an amazing experience with a customer the other day where I was delivering her TM6, and I say delivering, I was going to help her, teach her how to use it. She'd actually got it a few days before. So she said, I made pumpkin soup yesterday. And she had made it with her cookbook manually. And so I was going, oh, you know the recipe's right here. And she was like, oh, I didn't realize that. So it was just, she upgraded just going, well, I don't want to be without a Thermomix, and not realizing this whole guided cooking thing and how that actually works. So that's what you're going to see tonight as well. So it's really exciting. If you love your TM31, you're going to love your TM6. Now, for those who are new to Thermomix completely, the TM6 is 2579, and we do offer different payment options. And one of our most popular options is to join our team, which means you can come in as a consultant and earn your Thermomix. We have training, which is about 2 weeks. You can do over about a 2-week period, 3 different lots of training. And then you do what we call our 60-day program, where it's really just a trial period. So you try the business on for size. In that time, you get an opportunity to earn your machine. And at the end of the 60 days, if you go, do you know what, that wasn't really for me, no harm, no foul. You've got a Thermomix in your hand on your bench, and you've learned a lot about it in that 60 days. Or you get to the end of that 60 days and go, this is awesome. I love it. I love you, my team leader. I love Mandy and Diana, these other amazing consultants. I love everyone in the team, and I'm going to stay. Which is kind of what happened to me 11 years ago. I came in just to learn a little bit about it, and here we are 11 years later. Anyway, I'm talking way too much now. So what we're going to do is pop over to Diana to see the first dish, and I will be back with you shortly to show you what I'm cooking tonight.
Okay. So, hi everyone, Diana Kamu here. I'm making a really favourite dish of mine, and I actually haven't made it probably since summer, and this is the quinoa salad with chicken and avocado. And the reason why I wanted to show everyone this dish is because it uses the Varoma, and I find when you first get the Thermomix, you are a little bit scared about using the accessories, and the Varoma accessory is a little spaceship attachment that actually steams fruit, vegetables and fish and meat and so forth, and it has a lot of uses as well. So I'll just get started, because to be honest, most of the prep is right at the beginning of this recipe. So I'm just going to press start cooking here. Now I've got a few things prepped. So we start off by popping some parsley leaves. So I've just roughly ripped them off, and I've probably got a little bit extra, because if you like a lot of flavor like I do, feel free to add extra herbs and spices with your cooking. A garlic clove, sometimes I actually add 2, but I'm hoping to have this for my lunch tomorrow, so I don't want it too garlicky. And it's asking for 2 to 3 pieces of lemon rind. So don't need your zester. You do need a peeler, and I've just peeled that, and there's no white part on there. And because that white part of the lemon rind or orange rind is usually a little bit bitter, and I find that this peeler does the trick. And this is actually part of a kitchen kit that you can actually get as a host reward or purchase from the mix shop. So pop that all in there, half a teaspoon of salt, pop that in there. And then lid on. Oh, I missed a piece of parsley. That goes on top here. Turn the dial across, automatically stop. That's just going to blitz up for 7 seconds. What I love about the Thermomix is that I don't use my garlic crusher anymore. I absolutely hate using my garlic crusher. So even if I just need to crush 1 clove of garlic, 3 seconds is all that you need. So I'll just show you what that's all done there. So we're now going to scrape down the sides of the bowl there. Wonderful. And so what we're starting off with is actually the marinade for the chicken that is going to get cooked. So we just need to add some olive oil, and don't forget to tear the scales, make them 0. You're going to add in 40 grams of olive oil there. And if you're a little bit over or under, it's totally okay. You're not going to get any alarm bells going off. And pop the lid on. Whoop. Sometimes I'm a little bit speedy. It's funny, when you first get a Thermomix, you are a little bit clunky and slow, but then once you've cooked probably 5 recipes, you actually speed through your cooking. And half the time, you're not even looking when you turn the dial, because the dial actually stops automatically at the speed that you are supposed to be at. So that is our marinade there. And what the recipe is actually asking, so I have done a little bit of prep here, so this is our Varoma dish, our steaming unit. So the Varoma dish is this part here, and then on top we have a Varoma tray. So what the recipe has asked us to do is just get a piece of baking paper like so, lunch it up, Pop that under the tap, just let that get wet, then uncrunch it all, bring it out like that, and then we pop that on top of the tray. And then what I've popped on top here is some cubed chicken. Now the recipe I think asked about 400 grams. I just used a small packet of chicken breast. It was probably a little bit more. And so I can, if you can fit it all in, you can add extra chicken. So this is a recipe you can definitely bulk up. But if I've got any leftover pieces of chicken, that can be added to someone's salad or sandwich for the next day as well. So my tip here is to maximize the space of your Varoma, because this Varoma is actually 10% larger than the TM31, as well as the bowl. So fill it up as much as you want. So what we're going to do is pour this marinade all over our chicken like so. And I have veered a little bit from this recipe because this recipe does ask you to make a little envelope with the chicken and the paper, but I just find if I just pop the paper on top, roll up the sides a little bit so the marinade's not going to escape, it actually does the trick there. So that's my little tip. And this is why we host and run these cooking classes and demonstrations, because every single time you watch, you are bound to learn something new about a recipe. And we all learn from each other too as consultants. We've been here for different lengths of stages, and I find I'm always learning new things from Michelle and Mandy, and I'm sure they've picked up something from me too. So that marinade is there on the chicken, and so I'm not folding it up, and then we're going to pop that Varoma aside. Now, what we're going to be doing is popping that to steam. Now, I don't like to waste space. I like to make the most of the energy. So what I've popped in here, this is my little trick, is I've added some cubed pumpkin. So the pumpkin is going to steam at the same time. And I actually like to add this pumpkin to this salad. Or if you've got other veggies that you just want to steam to have for other salads or for a snack later or even with your dinner, feel free to pop this in because you've got all this space. You may as well use it. It's going to steam up and cook everything at the same time. So we'll pop that Varoma aside there. And now this recipe is asking me here to clean the bowl and dry the bowl, but what we're actually going to make next is the dressing. And I didn't use that spatula with raw chicken and pop it back here. So this is actually still clean. So I'm not going to clean my bowl because whenever we can skip that step, we certainly do. And all that in there is going to add extra flavour to our dressing. Now, it says 2 teaspoons of vinegar. If you are one of those people who loves measuring stuff, go ahead. If you're a she'll be right kind of person like me, that's perfectly okay as well. And I've got a clean spatula now. So I'm not using the one that I was stirring the raw chicken in. Just wanted to make that clear. And we're going to add a teaspoon of Dijon mustard and a teaspoon of honey. So I've just got that already. I'll pop that down in there. And so it's great how we can just follow this recipe step by step. Half a teaspoon of salt and a pinch of pepper and a splash of water. Pop that in just to loosen it up a little bit there. And some olive oil. So this is a really nice dressing that's going to coat our quinoa and our veggies and the chicken as well. Pop that lid on, lift this up. So with this particular recipe, most of the work is actually at the beginning and then the rest is all hands-free cooking. So it's just going to stir that dressing up. And what I love with the Thermomix, the TM6, is the preview button because there it asks me to transfer that into a bowl so then I can go and get all the next things that I need and get have a look at the steps ahead. So I'm not wasting any time and I'm a lot more efficient in the kitchen. So here we go. There's our beautiful dressing in there. So that's going to go into my salad bowl here where I will put my chicken, quinoa and veggies in afterwards. So just roughly scrape that down and always remember to scrape your bowl down and then around the bottom in a clockwise direction. There we go. All right, so we're going to pop that aside. And so this, at this part of the recipe, it actually says, do not clean the mixing bowl. So that's super handy. And what we're going to do is just add 1,200 grams of water. Just tap water is fine. This water is going to cook our quinoa and steam our chicken at the same time. There we go. Next step there, add a teaspoon of salt. I love this, by the way, this little bamboo seasoning box. You can pick that up from the mix shop. It's super handy. And we're going to insert the simmering basket. That just goes in like so. And we're going to weigh our quinoa. Now, this recipe does only ask for 100 grams, but you can actually cook a lot more. So this is a great recipe. If you want to bulk it up and double it or triple it even, you certainly can. So I might actually cook 200 grams. I often do, because this is a great low carb dish. But if you do need a little bit of carb or you want to bulk it up and stretch it further, you can certainly increase it there. There we go. But if you are, as you would know, with the Cookidoo, all the recipes do have the nutritional value down the bottom. So if you are counting your macros in your kilojoules, calories, so forth, just stick to the recipe exactly as it is. Now, the quinoa is in there. Don't worry, it's not going to fall out of the simmering basket. The lid goes on top, and we're going to take out the measuring cup and we're going to pop our Varoma on top. So that goes on top there and the lid on top like so. Make sure all that's enclosed in there. And then we just turn the dial. And so that's set now for 12 minutes on Varoma, speed 1. And then I'll just look next. After that 12 minutes is up, we're just going to get a spatula or a spoon, stir that chicken around, make sure that it's all evenly cooked and distributed. And then it's going to cook another 12 minutes. And in this time, what I would be doing is actually prepping the rest of the salad. So if I go ahead, what I need to do then is get some cherry tomatoes and some cucumbers and chop them up. So I've done that already. So basically this salad is pretty much done. So I'll head to you, Michelle, because once this is all done, then I can mix this all together. So I'll be quiet for the next half hour while the other girls cook.
Thank you, Diana. I have to make that salad. I haven't made that one yet, and it looks delicious.
It's a really nice salad, especially if if you've got the girls coming together. It's something really nice, fresh and light. But this is also a great salad that you can prep ahead. So I've actually got 4 containers, and I'm prepping the lunches for my husband and I. And my little tip, I'll share it to you at the end. So you're going to have to hold off.
Hold on. Lovely.
Hold on. Sorry. Yep.
Yeah, don't give away it all at the start.
No. I'm a big talker, so I thought, no. You're going to have to wait. Right.
Marvelous. Alrighty. So the dish that I have chosen for tonight is a good old classic zucchini slice. So the way this came about is that I was looking for the one that I usually make the other day, and this one popped up, and it was green. And now I just, I love anything green, so I'm going to have a go at that one instead. And I took it along to a work thing where everyone said, bring a plate. And everyone was raving about how good it was, including me, I might add. And I'm like, oh, you're not supposed to compliment your own cooking, but I actually was. So I thought I would make this for you guys tonight, because sometimes we can be blinkered. And I was blinkered by the other zucchini slice recipe that I just went to, because it's faithful and I do it every time. And yeah, as I say, this one came up and I got excited. So I have actually saved it into my weekly planner. So I'll bring it close for a minute. So in my weeks, as I mentioned before, with Cookidoo, you can do your meal planning. I've actually got all 3 of our dishes here. So this is it here, and it's called Zucchini Cheddar Slice. So just to differentiate in the name. And then as Diana showed you, once you come in here, you can scroll down, you can see your level of difficulty, prep time, total time, and portion size. Now, we do have the option in a lot of our recipes now to alter this portion size as well. So we call this scaled recipes. So for example, if you're doing porridge in the morning, it'll say, do you want to make a portion for 2 people, 4 people, or 6 people? So I'm going to just stick with the 8 because that's what I've prepped for tonight. And then it gives you all your method and any other sort of tips and variations. And as Diana said as well, my nutritional information down the bottom there. But when you're ready to go, you just press start cooking. So now that I've done that, I'm going to come back. Now it says to preheat the oven, which I have done because I actually just pulled out lasagna from there for dinner earlier. So the oven is good to go. And grease and line a dish. Now this you can do in a baking dish, but I'm actually going to do it tonight in our brownie pan. So you can actually get this, or brownie tin, you can actually get this on the mix shop. And what I'm doing is I'm greasing it with butter. So just with a pastry brush, which I have here, pastry brush, and then just greasing all the sides. I'll do it properly, but that's what I'm going to do. So that was a little tip and something we all started doing when we all started doing our bit of French cooking and making the canelles. So if you haven't seen those or you don't know what they are, have a look. They are the most delicious French dessert. Okay, so my first ingredient is 100 grams of cheddar cut into pieces. So I've just got that cut up in here. There we go, 104, that's okay. And then it says 5 sprigs of parsley and basil. Now it does say leaves only. I tend to be a bit rogue with that. And you know, the stalks are so soft that I tend to put it all in. And in fact, as Diana said, if you want to be a bit more heavy-handed, you can do that as well. So I think I'm just going to put in a little bit more. The thing that I loved about this when I made it the other day was that it just it tasted like pesto, like a pesto slice. It was amazing. So 60 grams of spinach. So in that goes. Now I had, 77 grams left. So that's what I'm using because I wasn't going to waste 17 grams. So again, you know, the recipes are a guide, but you're in control. So if you want to add something or subtract something a little bit, you can definitely play with that. So now it's just telling me to pop the lid on and it's 7 seconds on speed 6. Beautiful. It's funny, we talk about with Thermomix to do things that wow you. And when as I said, this was sort of like a pesto. So when I did this the other day and it was just this beautiful, vibrant green color, I was wowed. So it's going to, and it says to transfer to a bowl and set aside. So this, a bit, you know, Dana referred to sort of lunch with the girls. This was, as I said, I took this to a workshop that I was doing and it was part of our morning tea, but it would definitely be something you could serve as a ladies' lunch or put in a school lunchbox. Like it's really got a lot of applications. The humble zucchini slice has many applications. So I'm going to pop that up there. So the next ingredient is the zucchini. Now, the other thing is for anyone who's completely new to Thermomix, you don't need to over prepare anything. So the rule of thumb is that it will fit through the hole in the mixing bowl lid. So in both directions. Some people say to me, what about a carrot? Long ways. No. And that's about getting an even chop and also about just protecting your blades over time as well. I nearly put that bowl in my bowl that's got the eggs in it. That would have been funny. Funny for you to watch, not so funny for me to clean up. So in goes the zucchini, and that's just another 4 seconds. Oh, sorry, another 7 seconds. All right, so now it also says to transfer that to the bowl with the cheese and the herbs. My bowl's big enough, so I'm just going to transfer it back to the bowl that it was in. Now, of course, when you're doing this, not like us, because obviously we've pre-prepared everything that's all sitting in a bowl. Normally, I would just grab a zucchini from the fridge and chop it straight over the Thermomix bowl with the zucchini. I don't even bother with a chopping board. So, you know, the prep cleanup is very minimal. At most, you've got a knife and a chopping board. For some reason, then the word iron was in my head, so I was thinking an iron and a chopping board, but that was just getting two rooms of the house mixed up, wasn't it? All right, so the next step is I've got onion and bacon. Now, when I made this the other day, I actually made it vegetarian because I just, you know, often when you go to things, there's lots of people who are vegan or vegetarian. So, well, wouldn't have been good for the vegan because of the egg, but vegetarian. So you can leave the bacon out if you are vegetarian or you don't eat pork. And what I did was add in some vegetable stock paste so it replaced that salty flavour the bacon would replace. So now you can see, and actually I'm going to show you this next thing because it's actually very cool. So I've put in the onion and it's telling me it's 150 grams, and now it says next, and it says the 3 rindless bacons, it says approximately 60 grams, and there's my scales there. So if sometimes it says approximately a weight and it doesn't give you the scales, so you can actually manually pull them up as well. So just sometimes it might say 1 carrot, approximately 100 grams. So you can pull the scales up if you go, well, I've got no idea what my carrot weighs. So in goes my bacon. And now we're going to just chop those on speed 5. All right, so show you that. And of course, there's no need to wash the bowl in between any of this. So that's my bacon and my onion, and it's actually going to saute now for 5 minutes. So while it's doing that, we will pop back to Diana. Do you want us to come back to you, or should we go to Mandy now?
No, you can go to Mandy. I'm just chilling here.
No,
I was just actually typing up, but now that you've got me on here, in the notes that the zucchini slice would also make a great finger food when you've got parties or high teas, morning teas and things like that as well.
Absolutely. Now, I just went back then because I noticed when I was scraping down the bowl, I had one rogue large bit of bacon. So I just did another 2 seconds, and now it's all completely chopped. Although maybe one lucky person who would have got a nice big piece of bacon now misses out based on my need to make everything even. Who knows? Anyway, thank you for listening to me. I will be back soon to show you putting this all together. And lovely Mandy, we're coming over to you.
Hello, everybody. Thanks for coming along tonight. We always enjoy sharing ideas, recipes, and our tips and hints with you. So what I'm making tonight is seared steak and rocket salad. And what that shows you, it gives you a little bit of a taste of high heat, which the TM6 has, which neither the TM5 or the TM31 had. And it's only accessible in guided cooking, but it goes up to 160 degrees in the guided cooking. So I'm actually going to sear this steak in here, but we've got a little bit of onion to do first, which I'm going to get going before we need to come back to Michelle. So I'm going into here, we call this the hamburger, the little 3 lines on the top left-hand side of the screen. And I'm going into my week, which is exactly where Michelle went as well. And I have here the seared steak and rocket salad. I'm going to start cooking. First of all, I'm going to put 20 grams of oil. Now, the scales on, now I've taken the lid off. You have always have to remember to turn, put it back to 0. The scales on the TM6 are in 1 gram increments. So it's a little bit easy to be a little bit heavy-handed sometimes, but there we are. That'll do. Okay. Then it wants 50 grams of onions thinly sliced. Okay, so I've got this here, you could use brown onion, red onion. I had part of a red onion left in the fridge, which is why I've gone with this. So I'm just going to pop those in. And I'm going to pop the simmering basket on top of the lid instead of the measuring cup, as it has asked me to do. So lid goes on. The best way to take your measuring cup out, MC, look for the little spout, put your finger underneath there, and it comes out really easily. Then I'm going to pop my simmering basket just on top. And that's going to cook for 2 minutes, 120 degrees. And if you see the little symbol here, it's automatically gone onto reverse. I'm getting my words all muddled up. On reverse, because we don't want those onions to chop anymore. We just want it to stir because it's going to cook them. So I'm just going to turn that on. And I don't know if Michelle is ready, but so I can tell you a little bit more about high heat until she is. So the high heat, as I said, goes up to 160 degrees. You can only use it in the guided cooking, but there are some really basic recipes. So there are recipes, high heat recipes cooking different vegetables. So it could be onion, it could be zucchini, it could be capsicum. And there are also recipes where it shows you how to cook your shrimp or your chicken, all those sorts of things on high heat. So you can adapt recipes and just take that little bit and then go on into another recipe if you want to. So up to 160 degrees. But it also, this was new to me just not that long ago. We also have sugar stages, which is high heat, and that goes up to 170. So that's your caramel and that is your honeycomb. And do we need to go back to you, Michelle? Yep. Perfect.
I'll just share with you. But I've got a minute, but I was actually going to show people what happens when you're in your recipe and something's cooking. Then you can go into the preview button. So I can go, right, my bacon and is sauteing now, but I need my eggs. So I can go to the fridge and I can get my eggs out and get them ready. And then what am I going to need after that? Oh, I'm going to need my rice flour. So I can go and I can get my rice flour. Now, if you don't have rice flour, you know you can get your rice and make your own rice flour. So I'm going to need salt and pepper. So I've got my salt and pepper shakers ready to go. And I'm going to need I'm going to need frozen peas, and they are in the freezer. So I'm going to go and grab those.
So it's always worth reading a recipe before you start, because I'm lucky enough to have 2 bowls, but the number of times I've gone into this recipe and I've forgotten to make the rice flour. So if you've got a second bowl, you can just literally, put it on there, make your rice flour. If you haven't, just remember to make it at the beginning.
Yeah, great tip. Look, the truth is as well, is that if you don't need to be gluten-free, you can use a regular flour, or you can use a gluten-free flour as well. So so there's definitely choices there. But as Mandy said, I think whether you're cooking with a Thermomix or not, I think reading through a whole recipe is actually one of the best tips my mother ever gave me, because how often do you get halfway through and then go, oh, hang on, I was cooking this for dinner tonight and it's supposed to marinate for 3 hours.
Yeah, absolutely.
It might be. So it's always good to read through and see what's expected. Alrighty, so that smells amazing, I have to say. Sorry if you're vegetarian, but that smell of onions and bacon frying is absolutely incredible. So I'm not sure how well you can see that, but it's going to add a beautiful flavour to said zucchini slice. Alrighty, so I'm just going. Oh, what am I doing? Pressing the wrong buttons. There we go. I was just trying to see what I was doing and see my screen. There we go. All right, so the 5 eggs. So as I saw with my preview, I've got my eggs ready to go. So in they go. And then in goes all that rice flour. Next again, and then salt and pepper. So here's my salt. As I said, if you do want to make it vegetarian, I would definitely just recommend adding in some vegetable stock paste. Has everyone here got stock paste in their freezer? Got my frozen peas. In they go. Oh, I was going to say it weighed 100 grams before. There's a couple stuck to the side of the bowl. There we go. Now it weighs 100. And then it says our reserved mixture, cheese and zucchini mixture, which I do have in 2 bowls. 1 and 2. And you can see actually the bowl is quite full. And the next ingredient is some olive oil. So 80 grams of olive oil. Mandy, do you normally put the full 80 in?
Yes, I do.
Okay, beautiful. When I made it the other day, I only put in 60. 80 seems like a lot. So I will tell you, I'll do 80 tonight because I'm just following the recipe pretty much. But for those following along at home, I did only put 60 in the other night and it was still good. So now it's going to stir it all together or mix it all together. And it's 6 seconds and it's on reverse because we don't want anything more chopped than it already is, and speed 4. So have a look at that. And then next it's saying pour it into my tin. So The method with the tin, the cannellé method, is to butter the tin and then pop the tin in the fridge. Now, the cannellé method is actually a double butter, but I've sort of done one very single thick coat of butter. Don't be afraid of butter. It makes everything taste good. And what I'm going to show you, a little trick that we like to do here. So here's my beautiful green mixture.
It's got to be good for you if it's green.
Well, that's my logic as well. And then using my scoop here, I'm just going to fill each of these with some of the mixture. So when I took it to the event the other day, I did actually just make it as a slice and then cut it up into squares. But this, from a presentation point of view, is nice, but also, you know, for lunch boxes and things, it's just an easy grab a single portion. And you know, when you make something like this, the edges are always yummy because they get the little sort of crunchy bits. So it means every piece has good edges. That's my logic anyway. And this is how you normally make it too, isn't it, Mandy?
Absolutely. And just freeze it and yeah, pull them out as we need them. It's awesome.
Yeah, beautiful. That's the other thing I think too, because I remember when I got the brownie pan, because, you know, I just like getting all the mixed shop accessories. I do remember thinking, well, I really don't make brownies very often. But, you know, it's about sort of thinking outside the box a little bit and going, well, you know, you don't have to be making brownies. You can be making anything. So my brownie pan has actually been used a hell of a lot more for savoury dishes than sweet. So
Mine too.
yeah, and it's just the squares just seems to be nicer than in a cupcake tin for some reason. Anyway, I'm going to go pop this in the oven, and I think Diana might be ready for us. Yes,
No,
Diana?
I'm still cooking. So
Yeah,
I
she's still
had a
cooking.
moment
Back to
where I
me.
just
Oh, have you
stirred.
done your stir, your first 12
Yeah, I
minutes?
stirred the chicken and then it was cooking. So I've got 4.5 minutes still left. So if you want to
Go to
Time
Mandy.
for me.
cook, Mandy, yep, you go next.
Yeah, beautiful.
Awesome. Okay. So my onion has cooked. And what we're going to do now, we are going to go to the high heat. It's asking me to just show you. So there's the onion in there. It's asking for 1 sprig of fresh rosemary. Now, the very first time I made this recipe, I took all the leaves off the rosemary. Do not do that because you don't actually need it. This is really giving you flavour during the cooking, but it's not actually part of the dish that you're going to eat. So I pop that in. And then 200 grams of rump steak cut into strips, which it's going to want me just to distribute around. So I'm going to pop that in there. Actually going to pick my rosemary up and just push the steak around. So I'm distributing it like that. All right. Now, this is something that only the TM6 has, and it's called a splash guard. And this sits over the top of the lid like that. Because of the little flanges at the side, it gets caught up in the arms as well. So it's asking me to click done. And then this is the symbol you get for high heat. And you know how often you're asked to turn to a certain speed? You don't worry about a speed with this. As soon as I turn, it's going to start cooking. Okay, so I'm just going to turn like that and off it goes. And we are going to get an amazing sizzle, which you may not be able to hear, but you get an amazing sizzle from this high heat. And it's also telling me what to do next. So again, like Diana, I've got most of this prepped, but it's cherry tomatoes cut in half. Oh, I don't use caper berries, I just use capers because caper berries are a lot harder to find. Rocket leaves and avocado. So I'm going to get that ready whilst this is doing the whole sizzle thing here. I don't know where. Oh no. So Michelle, are you going to do Cookidoo or something whilst we're waiting? Oh, here she comes.
Hello, here she comes. Yes, I will absolutely do that.
I've got 2 minutes left.
How many?
2 minutes.
2 minutes. Oh, well, maybe we'll do you and then me. I just thought I would show though. We'll just change the spotlight. I just want my daughter for the last few days has been asking me to make if she could make Thurman's rolls, but you know, obviously her making them is me helping. So we haven't had time, and then today we we made it happen. And I just had to show you, how good do they look? Because we were at Southland a few weeks ago and walked past Cinnabon, and they begged me for a cinnamon scroll, and I paid about $7 for one of those. And I'm such, I was going to say a tight and then a word that starts with the letter A, that I bought one and made them share it, because I could not spend $15 on 2 cinnamon scrolls, because we just made 15 of those. That there's only 7 left this afternoon for less than what one cost, I reckon. So we're probably about the same. But how good do they look? So they're the super soft cinnamon scrolls on Cookidoo. I think that's one of the amazing things about Cookidoo, is there's just so much. Thanks, Anita. They look great. They tasted pretty good too. There's just so much on Cookidoo, and so much where you can just learn more and be more creative. And, you know, we often say the hardest thing about cooking is thinking about what to cook. All the inspiration is right there at your fingertips. So I thought, Diana, because you only had the 2 minutes,
Yeah,
maybe
I've got 40 seconds left. So yeah, but I was just going to say, you're not alone with that, with your thinking of, because I find that's the problem when you get a Thermomix. It's very hard to buy anything from a bakery, because I find the general rule, the price for one item is you can make a whole batch for that.
for a dozen.
And,
yeah, that's so true. Yeah.
And that's the same. Like, I love making little yogurts for my kids. They often have one after school, and sometimes even another one for dessert, with the fruit coulis and a bit of natural yogurt on top. And I find they're $2 to $3 each, whereas you can make a whole batch for just over that. So
Yeah.
1 second left. Woo!
My other thing with that is smoothies. You know, $9 or
Yes.
$10 for a smoothie, and I just think, oh, I just can't do it.
Oh, I know. Now,
All right, let's go to you.
yeah. So when you are using your Varoma, the important thing to remember is when you're lifting the lid, to lift it away from you, because then that way the steam's going to move away from you and you don't get a free facial or anything. Nobody really wants that. And then I usually hold the lid underneath here and use that as a trivet and pop that on there. So I'll just move the camera so you can see. That's my chicken all cooked in there. And if you were a bit worried and had a look and you thought, oh, it's not cooking, you can just go back a step and then just cook it for a couple extra minutes. Give it a stir and cook it for a couple extra minutes. But this looks perfectly good. And then I've also got my pumpkin underneath here as well. So going back to, here we go. Hopefully you can see that. So now it's just asking us to remove that simmering basket with your spatula. So everything is has multiple uses, all the accessories with the Thermomix. So that's our spatula. A really cool thing about that is that if you pop it on the ground, doesn't matter which way you pop it down, the tip of the spatula is not going to touch the bench. So there's not going to be any cross-contamination or anything. But what we're going to do, we're going to use this little hook here, and I don't know if you can see that, use that little hook to lift up that simmering basket and take that out. And what we're going to do is tip that quinoa into this bowl with that dressing. So there are different ways that you can do it also. You can use the tip of your spatula to lift up and open the lid and then hook that through, and then we can tip that through. And just remembering there, I've actually made double the amount of quinoa because I did want to bulk this up. Because I am working tomorrow and I find with my job it's quite physical. I need a good lunch. But if you were wanting something a little bit lighter, certainly just follow the recipe. Or you could even put some of that quinoa away for another dish as well. So while you're cooking, I don't know about you girls, Michelle and Mandy, but sometimes I'm always thinking, oh, can I add extra and bulk it up so then I've got more or leftovers and so forth. And then what we're going to do is strain all the juice from the chicken, or what you can do is just get some tongs and pop that chicken in with the quinoa, and it's okay a bit of that juice goes in because that's all got flavoring. And then I will also do the same with the pumpkin, and then I'm going to mix this all up because that's got the dressing down the bottom, and I'm going to let this cool. And then so I'm going to mix this up and let this cool just a little bit. If I was serving it you know, there and then for lunch or dinner. I would then add my chopped or my halved cherry tomatoes, my cucumber that I have chopped up, and the recipe also, if you keep following the steps ahead, it also asks for some diced up avocado. Mix it all up and that's ready to serve. However, this is my little tip. So when I want to prep this for work lunches the following day, I just make sure that this is completely cooled down. And then what I have actually done is I've got 4 containers all lined up on the bench. And what I've done here is I've put my cucumber and cherry tomatoes on the side. I've just put a bit of spinach here, or you can use mesclun, because I do like to add extra green and bulk up things as well. When this is completely cool, I'll pop that on top. And my avocado, sometimes there's certain people in our house that are a little bit fussy with brown avocado. So I might chop up that avocado the morning of and add that to my salad. And then when it's time to eat, that's when I'll mix it all up, because I find if you do mix up the tomato and the cucumber, which you can with the dressing, but it can get a little bit funny if you are keeping it for a couple of days. Whereas if you do it like this, it will just keep a little bit longer and fresher. And just before you eat it, you can mix it all up. And the other little thing that I do like to do is I like to add in some flaked or slivered roasted almonds to this as well. So, you know, even pepitas or some sunflower seeds. So just think of, you know, these kind of chicken quinoa salads, they're popping up in a lot of cafes these days. I know the last time I went out with the girlfriends, I ordered one, I paid about $25 to $30 for one. So, you know, it's great to get inspired for what we eat out and then adapt these Cookidoo recipes to what we like. And I'm always thinking, how can I make it healthier? How can I bulk it up, make it more tasty and delicious? And definitely you need to give this a go. It is a beautiful dish, and that, you know, the whole family love. The great thing is that it's gluten-free as well. So it's a good one to serve to other people, because there are a lot more gluten-free people out there. And so I am often cooking gluten-free because you just don't know, and you always feel a little bit lighter as well. And this recipe actually did ask for just white quinoa, but I found the tricolor ones, which I think is actually a little bit prettier as well. So just to make it look a little bit nicer. So that's my salad for me. I'm just going to pop the rest of the chicken and the pumpkin, mix it through here. So maybe you can come back to me right at the end so you can get a little bit more of a visual, and then I'll show you one already prepped for my lunch for tomorrow.
Thank you so much, Diana. I think we're all adding that to our weekly planner now. Have you added
so
it?
Yeah.
I love
I'm
dishes
ready
like.
to finish mine off if you're ready.
Oh, perfect.
Okay.
That's so good.
Yeah.
Perfect. Oh, we're all here.
Okay. So my steak has seared, and what it's asked me to do is to transfer it into the bowl with the salad. Well, like Diana, I'm not going to put everything on the salad tonight because it's really tomorrow's lunch. But to retain the meat juices, and that's actually really important. I can't remember, I was talking to someone the other day and they'd taken all the meat juices out and it was dry. Then I'm going to put 30 grams of walnuts. Well, in our house, it's always pecans. So they're going in. 20 grams of oil. So this is our dressing. And 10 grams of lime juice. And then there's also 10 grams of honey. So I've mixed those up there beforehand. The honey. Some salt and some pepper. Lid on, 3 seconds, speed 5. Pour it over the salad and mix well. Well, I'll show you. I'll just put it onto this little plate here I've got ready. So it's a lumpy dressing because of the nuts in it. Smells amazing, honey and everything. And I'm just going to pop a little bit of dressing on there, and obviously keep the rest for tomorrow to be fresh, like as Diana was saying before. But this is a super simple salad. It actually says it serves 2. but it would easily serve 4. And again, you can just bulk out with a bit more greenery, you know, and more, you know, you could definitely do some roasted pumpkin or something else to add in there too. Now just, I will pop that recipe in there in a second. I'm not sure which is the scroll recipe, so we'll ask Michelle in a minute. But just, I had someone ask me privately, can you, instead of using the simmering basket, when you ask for the simmering basket on top, can you use the splash guard? And the answer is no. The reason, the splash guard is just for high heat, and the simmering basket is used when you get to certain temperatures and you're cooking. And the reason that they're not interchangeable is that the splash guard, as I showed you, has these little flanges, so it gets locked in place. Whereas the simmering basket, if necessary, could move and it's easy to take off. So so they are not interchangeable. All right. Okay, I think we are over to Michelle if she's ready. And Michelle, can you tell me the name of those scrolls and I'll look them up and pop them in the chat? Thanks.
Yeah, it was these super soft cinnamon scrolls. They're very decadent. What have we done there? Were you and I both trying to spotlight me, and then we spotlighted one of our guests instead?
I haven't done it. I'm just finding the recipe, the scroll recipe, which I just popped in there.
Oh, well done. Beautiful. Sorry, that was me then. Hi, welcome back to me. So I will give you a little quick rundown or run through of Cookidoo. Does everybody want to see that? Yes? Give me a little. Got a few smiles there. I'm going to take that as a bit of a yes. Oh, thank you, Linda. Beautiful. All righty. So I'm going to share my screen and take you to Cookidoo. Can you see that okay? Beautiful. Yep. So you can see mine says, hello, Michelle Moss, Thermomix. So you can go into your profile and write whatever you like. Some of my customers have put their name as gorgeous in the Thermomix, because then when it turns on, it says, hello, gorgeous, what would you like to cook today? So how nice is that? I bet none of the family is saying that to us. So the beautiful thing about Cookidoo is that when you look at it on here, it looks exactly the same as it did on the computer. So on the screen of the Thermomix. So from your computer to the app to the screen of the Thermomix, look, Spring and Sprung. We were on point, girls, on point. Look at that. Make now. I haven't even seen that yet. That's so exciting. So, oh, look at that. Sorry, I get excited every time I look at Cookidoo. So there are over 90,000 recipes on Cookidoo. So just rewinding a little bit there, which means there is always something new that I see when I'm talking to people and showing people things. So have a little think about, an ingredient that you've got in your fridge or pantry, and you can type it into Cookidoo. So this works really well if you just go, well, I like sweet potato, so I want to make something with sweet potato, for example. Or you might just be looking at the end of the week going, right, what are the few things I've got left that I need to make up? So Mandy and I can both vouch for this fragrant coconut fish soup with sweet potato. Very nice. That you'll come across a whole range of things with that one ingredient that you can then decide what you'd like to do. From salads, you can see here, salads, curries, all sorts of things, baked potatoes with different things on them, a sweet potato curry, all sorts of things. Now, the other thing that you can do, because obviously you can see there I'm getting baby food and different things as well, is go into the filters and actually go, well, actually what I'm looking for is I want a main dish that's vegetarian. So now if you look down the bottom, in the bottom right corner there, it says there's 57 results that are main dishes and vegetarian. And then it will show me that use sweet potato. So now you can actually have a look through and go, right, these are now my dinner options, and have a bit of a look. Oh, that looks nice, doesn't it? So when you see something you like the look of, if you want to go into the recipe, you can click on it. But if before that, so these three little dots here, you might go, do you know what, I love the look of that. I'm just going to add that to my week, and I might have that on Saturday. So I'll just save that in there. You can go into it and have a bit more of a look through, have a look at all the ingredients. So there's lots of lovely things in there. Beautiful. And if you're going to make it on the weekend, I'm going to need to add it to the shopping list. So let's add it into the shopping list there as well. And you might even want to add it to a collection. So the way the recipe filing, your personal filing works, is that you can create collections, which in the talk of, say, iTunes, it's a playlist, your recipe playlist. So for that, I couldn't be calling that a spring salad. And now it's added that into a collection called spring salads. So need to move that out of the way. So now I can actually go in and have a look at my shopping list to see what's on my shopping list. And there are 5 recipes in my shopping list, and I can look at it by category or by recipe. So in here, I can look at the recipes that I've got. And if there's something in there that I've made already, and I can go, well, actually, I already made that Fruity Dream, I'm going to remove that from my shopping list. So what you're left with there is the recipes that you know, yep, there's the things that I'm making and they're the ingredients that I need. So then if you look at it by category, you can then see that it actually does it in the way that it would be filed in the supermarket. So obviously it includes all the ingredients, so I can tick off that I've got water. But then you can go through this shopping list now and go, what are the things I've got in my pantry? Well, I've got pumpkin seeds. I've got yogurt, so I don't need to buy yogurt. I'll need to buy the chicken. I've got olive oil, so that's great. I've got those things. So you can go through and tick off anything that you've already got, and then you're left with just your shopping list of things that you need to buy. The other thing you can do down here where it says additional items is add other things. So if you say you're having a steak with the salad one night, you can add that steak. You need to get some toilet paper, add that in. You need to get dog food. So whatever things that you need to buy that aren't part of that initial meal or shopping list, you can add in here. So it means you've got a comprehensive shopping list for everything that you need to get that week. And then if you see up here, you've got a couple of choices. So one of your choices, if you click on here, is you can share that list. So say someone's on their way home and you go, right, this is what we're having for dinner. I need you to pick up a few things. You can share that. It'll copy it to a clipboard and you can send it through as a text message. So that's actually really easily done on your phone. The other way you can do here is just go straight to order ingredients. And when you go into order ingredients, what you will be able to do is go, oh, yep, I'm going to Woolies. Now, at the moment, Woolies is the only supermarket that we are associated with. That's to do with the fact that their back end was set up to accommodate Cookidoo. We have spoken with other supermarkets and they will come online eventually. I know in Europe there's Aldi's on board, and so ultimately I think you'll have the choice of Aldi, Coles or Woolworths, but at the moment, lucky Woolworths. And you'll see that it will automatically put all of those things into your shopping basket. So if you look at something and go, oh, actually, no, I don't really want to get that Woolworths brand of the balsamic vinegar, I can go swap. And then it's going to give me all the other brands, and you can then choose, oh yeah, I like the Mazzetti one, I'm going to get that. Select that and it'll swap it out for you. So you can go through and do that with your list. And once you've completed your list, you can then, now here, because I was vague and wrote things like avocado or, oh, there we go. So you can go find product. So if something wasn't matched, because it says 200 grams of avocado, and obviously you can't buy them in grams, you buy them as a whole thing. So I'd need to go in and actually just search for an avocado and add that in. It's showing me oils. I need to go into fruit and vegetables. I think you get the gist though, don't you? So there we go. I hadn't noticed that before actually, how funny. So I'm going to go add to my shopping cart, and then it's ready to either go click and collect or you can have it delivered. Has anyone got any specific Cookidoo questions? I'm going to have to stop share because all of my icons and things were covering up my screen. Has anyone got any specific Cookidoo questions? Anita? Is it in the chat, or I'm happy for you to just shout out? Is it easy to read the recipes?
Yes, just because my eyesight's getting a little bit worse. So fine print can be a problem.
So do you mean, is it easy to read on the Team 6 screen?
Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
So much easier to read. It's actually, when we first got it, we were using the words obnoxiously large. So yeah, it's definitely much easier to read. But have you got a consultant, Anita? because if you
I
reach-
spoke to Mandy the other day.
Yeah, perfect. So if you're not sure, Mandy can actually show you the machine, or if you're near either of our offices, you can pop in and have a look and see for yourself if you can read it. But it's definitely something that a lot of our customers, and particularly, there's a lot of us whose eyesight isn't that great, have really appreciated having that bigger, clearer print.
The other question would be, if it's a problem, I could probably print it out, could I?
You could, or you could have it on your phone as well.
All right, okay.
Another thing that you can actually do, and when we do this with vision impaired people, is you can actually get your Google to read it out to you.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So because we do a lot in the NDIS space, so there's actually even that option to actually have it being read out to you as well. But I think
Yeah.
you'll find that the screen is quite big writing.
Right, okay. Thank you.
That's all right. You're welcome. Has anybody else got any questions? All righty. So what I'm going to do is see if mine are ready. I've got a bit of a dodgy oven, so things take longer than they should in my oven. Shall we go and have a look? Let's go and have a look. Don't look at the fact that my oven's a bit dirty. We actually talk about this. It's one of the reasons that people don't host demos is because they're worried about their oven. So maybe if I show you mine, you'll feel better about yours. Let's see how it's looking. Oh, they're certainly bubbling away. Just going to grab a skewer and see. Oh, that's come out pretty good.
I always find that just from experience, that sometimes they need a little bit longer to cook to turn out well.
Oh, okay.
If they're too soft, then they can break as they come out.
Oh, I see. All right.
Yes.
All right. Well, maybe I won't try and handle a hot pan one-handed, but what I might do is pop it down and did one of you have your dish ready?
Yes,
Diane?
I'm ready. Yeah.
All right. I'm going to come back to you and I'm going to see if I can pop one of mine out just to see how it looks. And I'm probably going to eat my nice sloppy one that I pull out.
That's a good excuse anyway.
I know, right?
So I have now popped all the chicken and the pumpkin that I've steamed and mixed it up with the quinoa and the dressing that was in the bottom of the bowl. So if I was to serve this just as it is for lunch, I actually like using a larger bowl. It's actually a very impressive dish. You can line the bottom with a bit of mesclun or rocket or spinach if you like. But this, I am actually prepping my husband and my lunches for the next couple of days. So just what I had before, I've just got a bit of baby spinach there, chopped tomato, cherry tomatoes, cucumber, and I've actually, because this was for mine tomorrow, and I don't mind if my avocado goes a little bit brown, I've popped my avocado on here. And then I'm just going to scoop some of this salad. So I will divvy this up between, because I have bulked up the chicken and the quinoa, this has actually made more than 4 serves, which is absolutely fantastic. I'm sure one of the kids would like to try this as well. So pop that in there and then just sprinkle that on top. And I tell you what, how good does that look? Like, honestly, eating food this healthy is going to make you feel absolutely awesome. And if you were to purchase something like this from your cafe, just a lunch serve, I'm sure you're paying at least $13 to $15 if you're going out for a cafe. And this is, I'm just talking about like a hospital, because I'm working in the hospital tomorrow. Just one of those cafes. If you're going out for lunch with the girls, like I said, I paid $25, $30, and I think you can make the whole salad for less than that. So definitely worthwhile inviting people over to your place, popping up some wine and whipping up this little dish. So this is fantastic this time of year, especially when you get into summer. A great bring along dish too if you're having a picnic or something like that and getting together with friends. So definitely pop this one into your salads folder. This is my salads folder, and I'm sure it'll become one of your favorites too. And just remember, you can bulk it up and add extras flavours. So you can use Cookidoo as a guide and put your little touches on that too. But how great does that look? Sorry, I'm pretty impressed. All these colours and yum. This is the salad actually. Every time my mum comes and visits from interstate, she likes me to make for her. So I'm sure you'll love it as well.
The volume's incredible.
Oh, it is. It's very deceiving. And it's funny because I always tell everyone I was the biggest Thermomix skeptic for 15 years or 12 years or something like that. And because I was worried it just wouldn't make enough food to feed us, because I'm one of those people that always feeds an army, and it surprises me every time how much it actually produces. So it's very deceiving, the Thermomix. You can definitely feed a crowd with it.
Yeah, and I think it was great that you showed the Varoma, because that really is how you can expand the size of the meals that you're making as well. And we
it's
love
scary to use.
We've never used their Varoma and go, I don't think I got one of those with mine. And we always have a bit of a giggle going, it'll be at the back of the cupboard. Bring it out, dust it off, and let's cook something with it. So yeah, we love encouraging people to use the Varoma. So incredible. Thank you so much, Diana. Yeah, I think you've inspired everyone on here to make that dish. Yeah, so there you go. We've all added that. Now, what I did was, because I was trying to dig it out and I kind of made a mess of it, so I just tipped my tin up, and the ones that came out I figured were ready. So so there you go. They smell incredible. They look very cute, and they're a bit too hot, so I'm not going to do anything silly and bite into something hot and burn myself. But as I said, I did make them last week and they were absolutely amazing. So not quite as exciting as the two salads that the other girls have got, but certainly something that I'll be having on our menu, and hopefully I've inspired you to add it to yours too. I think are you good, Mandy? We saw your beautiful dish.
Yep, saw mine. All good. All good.
Beautiful, beautiful. I did just grab out, so for anyone who are wondering what the cutter is, this is our cutter attachment. I will send a little link to a YouTube clip so you can see how that all works, because it's basically like a food processor attachment that sits on the top of your jug and you can grate and slice with it. This is our blade cover peeler, which sits on top of your blades in the bowl, which means that you can do things like slow cooking and sous vide and have a lot more space in the bowl to do that without it being chopped up in the blades. And as I mentioned, there'd also be a $300 voucher for anybody who's investing in a TM6 between now and the 23rd of September. So I started to say the most popular way to get a Thermomix on the bench is to join our team. We do have some other options as well, which is a 24 months interest-free, 3 payments over 3 months, which is we call our Easy 3, or a 1 payment with a credit card or bank transfer. So if you're doing a trade up, we have 24 months interest-free or credit card payment for you as well. So if you have seen everything tonight and you're feeling inspired to get a Thermomix on your bench, please reach out to whoever invited you, and you may want to just place your order tonight and get it as quickly as possible. Or if you want to host a one-on-one situation in your home with you and a consultant and a couple of friends, please do that as well. And you can cook 3 dishes of your choice with your consultant, and you'll be able to really get a feel for how that all works. If you would like to join the team, please reach out to me and or your consultant, and we will organise to get you along to an information session and answer your questions. Thank you for joining us tonight. Sorry, we went a little bit over. We all got a bit excited, but we really love having you all here, and we look forward to cooking for you again sometime soon. Let me just add Mandy. I just realised I've got Diana and I on the screen and not Mandy, so we need to have us all there so we can all wave goodbye and say thank you.
That's all right.
Buddy.
Bye, everyone. Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Good night. All right, I'll remove our spotlight for now. Oh, hang on. Stop recording. Stop recording. All righty.